What do you think maybe the one or two things that we could do right now just to make your life easier? Well, as you know, delivering drugs in vans sort of process.
Your teams are fantastic. They're great to
That's
work.
kind of you, thank you.
You know, it's the first thing I always say when David comes in or Brian's been in. You know, the teams, the drivers, they're your best ambassadors.
Okay, right.
Echoing what John said, I mean, your teams have been fantastic, your drivers and everything. The only thing that I would say is that it comes down to, if there's any feedback, it's communication. So on a practical level, if your drivers or the order is not going to arrive in the evening, then please, have a better line of communication to tell the team, man on the street, that it's not arriving. And that could even go to, if we're talking about your websites, and that you as a wholesaler certainly have a 2-3 week more perspective than I do as to whether something's going out of stock. If me as a customer to you, if you could give me more intel, then it means that I can prepare better, which means that I'm less likely to aggressively buy in large quantities when I suddenly find out. It just reduces that panic, which essentially happened to the consumer before COVID. That would be the best thing for me, is if there was more communication, whether it comes to stuff being in stock, out of stock, whether I'm going to get my deliveries. It's basics, but it will make a huge difference.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think certainly on the first one, more communication, good point, and I think we always ask for that. We have to be a little bit sensitive about letting people know things are going to go out of stock, because if people have got a store of it, then we can see the price doing funny things in some instances. But still, I'm sure there's something that we can work through to sort of help people with what they might buy or have choices of alternatives for sure.
Yeah.
And to that point then, Brian, how are you looking to provide improved service, better support to these guys in community pharmacy?
Well, from an enterprise point of view, we have been for a period of time in both enterprise and Trident, trying to, where we are investing, is to try and make it easier for customers to access us and do business with us. So with Trident, we launched our website towards the back end of last year. With enterprise, we were actually due to launch our website on the 4th of May this year. Now, we had to make a decision late in March, early April, if we were going to go ahead and do that. And if you can imagine just how we were operating at the end of March, early April, we made the decision not to do so. It was a tough decision, actually, but we made the decision not to launch the website because we couldn't be confident on availability and our ability to actually supply. So that was a tough decision to make. But we did actually launch the website on the 1st of June, and customers have really adopted it. Half of our business is coming through the website, which has only existed for 6 weeks. So that's one way that I hope our customers are seeing us as being easier to do business with. And not only that, we can communicate to Yasser's point. We can really use those websites, and we intend to use those websites as a more effective tool for communicating with our customers in terms of delivery. So again, if I think back to Trident, we couldn't guarantee next day delivery with Trident through the peaks of COVID. In fact, we had lengthy delays at times, but we had big banners across the website telling our customers exactly that, so that they could choose not to order from us and order from somewhere else if they didn't want to take the risk that it wasn't going to come the next day. So I would say, David, to answer your question, I would think digitalization in terms of making it easier for our customers to access us, improved communication. And then the one point about Trident I would say is, we do benefit from our scale. We operate independently, but we benefit from the fact that we're part of McKesson, and therefore, as a global organisation, we should be sourcing in many cases on a global scale. And therefore, I think where our Trident customers benefited from Trident over COVID was our ability to supply products at times where perhaps others couldn't. So that's because of the strength in our scale on that point. But ultimately, at the end of the day, both Trident and Enterprise live and die based on price, right? We exist to provide competitive pricing. That's why we're here. And we made it our absolute mission to ensure that even during the peaks of COVID, when the market was all over the place, frankly, our absolute mission to make sure we're providing products at a competitive price. That's why we exist, and it's our bread and butter.